Ever feel like you're constantly battling the clock when it comes to your fitness goals?
Absolutely.
Like there's just not enough time of the day to squeeze it all in?
Yeah.
Well, today we're tackling that feeling head on
Okay.
because we're diving into some really interesting excerpts
Okay.
on time and space
Yeah.
for fitness success.
Right.
And trust me, this goes way beyond just telling you to make a schedule.
Yeah, you're right. What I found really intriguing about this piece
Yeah.
was how it really dives into not just the logistics of fitting in workouts,
Yeah.
but the kind of the mindset that you need to really make them count.
Right.
It's not just about like marking it on your calendar, right?
Yeah.
It's about actually showing up mentally too,
Yeah, I feel that.
which is huge.
We've all been there
Yeah.
staring down a mile-long to-do list
Oh.
and thinking, yeah, that workout's just not happening today.
Oh, for sure.
But this source doesn't really let us off that easy, does it?
Right. No, not at all.
It kind of calls us out on using time as the ultimate excuse.
Yeah, and that's where I think it gets really interesting because time management for fitness, it's not just about finding an open slot in your day, right?
Right.
It's about understanding why those slots seem to disappear when it's our well-being that's at stake, right?
Yeah.
It's deeper than just scheduling.
Yeah, it really is. It's like when you reschedule that dentist appointment for the third time.
Right.
Like
exactly.
somehow our health, which should be a top priority,
It should be.
always ends up getting bumped, you know?
Exactly. And that's where the source's advice, I think, goes beyond the usual, like, schedule it,
Yeah.
start small, find a buddy,
Right.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
It actually digs into the psychology a little bit.
Okay, let's break that down.
Okay.
I'm all about the why behind things.
Right.
So, like, what's the psychology then behind some of these tips? Why do they actually work?
Well, when you schedule a workout, right,
Right.
you actually transform it from this kind of vague, maybe later,
Right.
into an actual commitment.
Okay.
It becomes something you've actually blocked out the time for.
Yeah.
Starting small, I think, is really important because it eliminates that feeling of,
Yeah.
oh, I need to be like marathon ready tomorrow.
Right. Or, like, do a CrossFit workout.
Right.
That's going to put me in the hospital.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like something totally unsustainable.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
It makes fitness feel more manageable.
Yes. Exactly.
And then a
Yeah.
workout buddy?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's
Oh, it's huge.
pure accountability magic, right?
Accountability it's everything.
Yeah.
Because you're not just letting yourself down if you cancel, right?
Right. Yeah.
But you're letting someone else down too.
It's like having a study buddy, but instead of,
Right.
acing exams, we're conquering burpees or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that.
But,
Yeah.
Source also warns about common pitfalls,
Oh, for sure.
like going from 0 to 60
Right.
and burning out before you even begin, which I've totally been there.
It's so common.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do.
So easy to get overmotivated.
Especially when you're first starting out.
Right, totally.
You have all this energy and you're like,
I'm going to do this.
I'm going to hit it hard.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah.
7 days a week.
2 a days.
And then I'm going to eat like only kale.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like, no, it's not
That's okay.
sustainable.
That's just not sustainable.
Right, exactly.
What's the key takeaway there?
I think the key takeaway there is just finding a sustainable pace for yourself.
Right.
And I think what I really appreciate about the source is it doesn't try to offer a one-size-fits-all solution because that doesn't exist, right? Every single person is different.
Yeah, we really are.
And so it's about figuring out what works for you
Totally.
and knowing that you're going to have to adapt as life, as it always does, throws those curveballs.
Absolutely. Which leads us to the often overlooked part of this whole equation, the space piece.
Right.
And I don't just mean finding a spot on a crowded gym floor.
Right. Exactly.
It's something totally different.
It's not about the physical space so much as it is about the mental space.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with her.
Yeah. And the source, I think, makes a really brilliant distinction here.
Okay.
Because it states that space, in this context, isn't a physical location, but clarity of mind.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we can all relate to this.
Oh, totally.
Where you can be at the gym physically, but you're miles away mentally. You're thinking about deadlines.
Yes.
You're scrolling through your phone.
Oh, my gosh.
You're just going through the motion.
Been there.
Yeah.
So many times.
Yeah.
I can't count how many times I've zoned out on the treadmill.
Right?
Only to realize my mind's been on like a tropical vacation for the past mile,
Yeah.
My body's present, but my head is definitely not there.
And that disconnect, as the source really, I think, rightfully highlights, can really hinder progress.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
It stresses the importance of being fully present during your workouts.
Okay.
Minimizing distractions as much as possible.
Right.
And really connecting with your body and each movement.
So it's more about treating your workout like a moving meditation.
Yes.
Than just another thing to check off the to-do list.
Precisely. And to be clear, we're not talking about esoteric meditation techniques or anything like that.
Right.
The source actually gives some really concrete, practical examples of what this clarity of mind actually looks like during a workout.
Okay, I'm very curious about this. So let's
dig into it.
Let's dig into that.
Okay.
Okay, so how do we actually achieve this clarity of mind thing during a workout? I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But give me the practical tips,
Well, the source, it really emphasizes the power of setting a clear intention for your workout.
Okay.
So before you even lace up your sneakers, right, take a moment to connect with why you're exercising in the first place.
Okay.
Are you aiming to boost your energy, relieve stress, build strength?
Yeah.
Bringing that why to the forefront can really help focus your mind.
So instead of just mindlessly hopping on the treadmill,
right,
I should take a minute to be okay, this run is about clearing my head and feeling strong.
Exactly.
I could see how that little shift in mindset could make a difference.
Yeah, totally. Because it's about transforming your workout from just an obligation, right?
Right.
Into an opportunity, a chance to connect with your body and your goals.
I like that.
And the source also highlights the importance of tuning into your senses during your workout.
Okay.
So instead of letting your mind wander, right?
Yeah.
Pay attention to your breath, the feeling of your muscles working, the rhythm of your movements.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's what mindfulness experts are always saying.
Right.
About bringing your attention to the present moment.
Exactly.
But how does that translate to, I don't know, say lifting weights?
Right.
Am I supposed to be contemplating the meaning of life while I'm doing bicep curls?
Not necessarily, no. It's actually simpler than that.
Okay.
It's really about focusing on the physical sensations.
Okay.
So the feeling of the weight in your hand, the contraction of your muscles, your breath as you lift and lower.
Okay.
And this focus can really help to kind of quiet the mental chatter and allow you to be more fully present in the experience.
So it's I'm not just going through the motions.
Okay.
I'm actually in my body feeling every movement.
Exactly.
That's actually pretty cool.
It's powerful.
When you really think about it.
Yeah.
But for us non-yogis out there,
right,
it can be tough to just quiet the mind on command. You know what I mean?
Right. It takes practice.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a skill.
So any advice for those of us who struggle with that?
Well, this is where I think some of the source's other suggestions can really come into play.
Okay.
Music, for example, can be incredibly powerful for creating that mental space.
Right.
Because it can drown out distractions, it can pump you up, or it can even, create a more meditative mood.
Yeah, for sure.
Depending on what you choose to listen to, obviously.
Speaking of music, we were chatting about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Is there any science behind why music seems to supercharge a workout? It can't just be me.
No, not at all. It's well documented, actually. There was
Yeah.
there was some research done at Brunel University.
Okay.
And they found that upbeat music can actually enhance endurance by up to 15%.
Wow.
And reduce perceived effort.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's tricking my brain into thinking the workout easier than it actually is.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, which would explain my 80s power ballad obsession on the treadmill.
There you go. See?
But seriously, so it's not just about
right?
feeling good?
It's physiological.
Yeah.
It's actually impacting our performance.
That's really
well,
cool.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
So we've got the intention setting, we've got, sensory focus, music.
Right.
What other space creation techniques does the source recommend?
Well, visualization is another powerful one.
Okay.
So the source suggests imagining yourself successfully completing your workout or, achieving a specific fitness goal.
Yeah.
And this kind of mental rehearsal
Yeah.
can really boost motivation and even improve performance too.
So if I'm struggling to get through, a tough set of whatever,
right,
it might help to visualize myself crushing it.
Exactly.
I'm a total badass.
Yes, exactly. It's about creating that positive mental picture that your body can then follow.
I like it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And finally, the source also emphasizes the importance of setting realistic and meaningful goals. Okay, goal setting. That's a classic.
It's tried and true for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. But how does that tie into this idea of mental space?
Well, I think having those clear goals, it gives your workouts direction and purpose.
Okay.
It transforms them from something you should do, right, into something you're actively working towards.
Okay.
And that sense of purpose can be incredibly motivating, and it can help you stay committed even when, things inevitably get tough.
It's like having that finish line in sight.
Right.
Even if it's, a small victory.
Right.
It just gives you something, tangible to strive for.
Totally.
This is all making so much sense now.
Good. I'm glad.
I do want to go back to something you said earlier, though.
Okay.
About this whole thing not being a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
You're right about that. We've talked about all these different techniques, but how do we know which ones will actually work for us as individuals? Because it can feel like, honestly, kind of overwhelming to try to do it all,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where I think the beauty of this whole approach really shines through.
Cool.
The source emphasizes that finding the right combination of, time and space strategies, it really is a personal journey. It's about experimenting, listening to your body, listening to your mind, and really just discovering what truly works best for you.
So it's less about following a rigid formula.
Right.
And more about creating a personalized fitness experience.
Yes.
That feels both sustainable and empowering, I guess.
Exactly. And I think, a lot of times with fitness advice, we get caught up in that, do this, do that, follow these 10 steps.
Eat this, don't eat that.
Right, exactly. And it's that doesn't work for everybody. The source really encourages us to view this whole thing as an ongoing exploration, not a destination.
I like that because, honestly, life rarely goes according to plan anyway.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So if we're juggling work and family and, a million other things, how do we even begin to figure out what our ideal, time and space equation even looks like for us?
Well, the source offers a really, I think, simple but powerful suggestion.
Okay.
It recommends starting by just reflecting on your past fitness experiences, both positive and negative.
Okay, so think back to those times when I actually enjoyed working out.
Yeah.
And also the times when I felt, totally drained and ugh, I don't want to do this.
Exactly. Yeah. What made those experiences so different? Was it the time of day that you were working out?
Okay.
The environment, the activity itself, your mindset going into it?
Yeah.
And I think by identifying the factors that contributed to both your successes and your struggles, you can start to kind of tailor your approach accordingly.
That's really helpful, actually, because it's I'm doing a little self-audit of my fitness journey.
Exactly right.
Figuring out okay, what worked, what didn't, and why.
Yeah.
And then using that information to create a more, I guess, personalized plan going forward.
Exactly. It's about becoming your own fitness detective.
I love that.
Right.
Uncovering those hidden clues that'll lead you to lasting success,
Yeah, and it ties back to that idea that there's no one size fits all, right?
Exactly.
We're all different, and our approach to fitness should reflect that.
100%, yeah.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
It's been fun.
I feel like we've covered so much ground today.
We really have, yeah.
From practical time management tips to the the importance of mental clarity and creating that inner space for fitness success. It's been great. Yeah, it's been a pleasure exploring these concepts with you for sure.
And if our listener takes away just one thing from this whole deep dive, what would it be?
Oh, that's a great question. I hope it's that the most effective fitness journey is one that considers not just the body, but the mind as well.
So well said, yeah. It's not just about hitting the gym. It's about the whole picture.
It's holistic, yeah.
Yeah, it's about finding that perfect balance of time and space, and that's really, I think, the key to making fitness sustainable and fulfilling part of our lives.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we will leave you to continue your own fitness explorations.
Yes.
Until next time.
To be continued.
Keep diving deep.
Yes, exactly.